there. It's an alarming statistic. According to the American Heart Association, 1 out of every 3 Americans, including children, are affected by heart disease and stroke. And the scary reality is that it can strike anybody at any moment, even when we think we're perfectly fit and healthy. Joining us now are Bob McCleskey, this year's chair of the Seattle Heart Walk and a survivor of a cardiac arrest, and Karen Dion, who suffered a crippling stroke just as she was preparing for her wedding. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
I was talking to you guys backstage, and the thing that really struck me about both of you is that these things happened when you were least expecting it, perfectly healthy. We think of sometimes stroke or heart attack happening to older people or people who are unfit, but not so.
Not so.
Not so. This happened 4 years ago for you, right?
4 years ago in March, and it was 4 months prior to my wedding.
What happened?
Well, I was up here on a business trip. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I flew up here, and the morning after I flew up, I was standing in the kitchen next to my husband now, Michael, and I started feeling dizzy and got a terrible headache, and realized that as I was standing, I couldn't feel my left foot. And that loss of feeling traveled up the left side of my body. And next thing I know, I couldn't feel my leg, couldn't feel my arm, just the sensation. And as I was describing it to Michael, that I was having a headache and that I was dizzy and I was losing the feeling in the left side of my body, he could tell that something was wrong, and he could tell that my speech was being affected, and he knew immediately, you're having a stroke.
Michael, how did you recognize this? Michael's in the audience. How did you know that's what it was?
Margaret, I don't know. I think it was just instinct with what she was describing. The only visual indications was the left side of her face wasn't really drooping. It was just more relaxed. And with everything that she was telling me, everything that I had heard and read in the past, she was describing the symptoms of a stroke.
She was indeed. You were eventually left unable to move and walk around, right? You had to go through therapy to regain the use of your body in the normal way that we would expect. How long did that take?
Well, I was in the hospital for an entire month, and during that time, I really completely lost the movement of my left side, and had to learn to walk again. But luckily, having that wedding 4 months out there in the future really gave me the inspiration to do it.
Did you walk down the aisle 4 months later? Good for you.
I did. My oldest brother, Randy, escorted me down the aisle 4 months later.
There you are. Look what a beautiful bride. I mean, this had a happy ending, but for many people it does not. And thank goodness Michael recognized what was going on and got help right away.
Yes.
Bob, where were you when you had your heart attack?
I was playing a basketball game, a tournament at the Washington Athletic Club just downtown.
Wow.
And I played the first half, came and sat on the bench, and within just a few seconds I felt dizzy. That's the last thing I remember. And what happened was, the doctor tells me I had a partial buildup in a main artery, about 30%, and it ruptured. So it shut that off, and my heart stopped. So my miracle was I had a defibrillator by my side in 45 seconds. I actually saw this on videotape later on.
Somebody was able to videotape?
Right.
Oh,
in the gym, they had security cameras.
Wow.
So within 45 seconds, there was a defibrillator. Within 90 seconds, they shocked me. And then they did 30 chest compressions, and the guy who saved me said I just took a deep breath and focused my eyes, and that was about 2.5 minutes from the time I went out to the time I was brought back.
Was it the availability of the defibrillator that saved your life?
Absolutely. You know what? It was the Heart Association and CPR and the WAC and that preparedness that that's the reason I'm here.
So you picked a good place to have a heart attack.
Right place at the right time, yeah.
Now, you look fit. You were obviously super fit at the time. Did you have any idea you had a heart condition?
Nothing. And really, that's the power of my message is it can happen to anybody. I have low blood pressure, low cholesterol, fit, we're exercised, eat well, and no symptoms at all. Nothing. And no family history. My only risk factor is my age, over 50. So,
you're not over 50.
Well, just barely.
Really?
Just a little bit.
Does he look like he's like 35?
Come on, audience, come on. Yeah, right.
That's pretty good. I would say that's good. So what has happened since then? What have you had to change or do to keep this under
control? Really,
lifestyle-wise,
nothing. It's medication. I mean, the doctor, I've described everything you know, I eat well and exercise and all that, and so it's just medication at this point to kind of keep it in check.
Well, I think your message is a very positive one. We need to know that we all are susceptible. Is there anything we can do other than learn the symptoms?
You know, my passion now is heart health, and being chair of the Heart Walk is getting the word out. It's a fundraiser, but it's also an awareness builder, and it can happen to anybody. People much younger than me. My doctor, Dr. Oppenheim at Swedish, recommends a coronary calcium scan. For anybody in their 40s or older.
Okay,
it would have picked up. It would have picked up the fact that I have heart disease.
And then they could have done something before
they probably
it got to this crisis point.
would have started medication, you know, after that, or potentially put in a stent.
And Karen, for you, what is the main message, the main takeaway for all of us?
That strokes do not age discriminate. They really can strike anyone at any time in their life. Just like Bob, I did not have any of there's risk factors that are controllable and uncontrollable, and I did not have the risk factors as well. I was fit, I was active, I was healthy, didn't have high blood pressure, my cholesterol was great, didn't have family history, and it can strike.
It can indeed, and we need to know what to do when it does.
Right, and thank goodness, just like Bob, right place, right time, people around, education, right husband.
Michael,
but with the Heart Association and the education and the awareness that it brings, and us telling our stories and raising the awareness so people understand the signs and the symptoms and can act quickly.
Well, it's something that King 5 is very committed to. We thank you both for being here. We'll see you at the walk.
Definitely.
I'm glad you are both,
October
15th, glad you are both healthy.
I will be in Tacoma and you'll be in Seattle.
Yeah, that's the fun part of this. You don't have to, you can go to T-Town, you can go to Seattle, wherever you'd like to go. Thank you both. The Seattle-Tacoma Heart Walk happens Saturday, October 15th. It is both at the Seattle Center in downtown Tacoma, so pick your spot. We're assembling a King 5 team for the walk, and we'd like to invite you to join us. If you'd like, please head over to our website. We'll show you how to sign up or to donate if you can't be there in person, but we'd really love for you to come and walk with us. I promise you'll have a great time. After the break, we're giving all of our New Day furniture to one lucky viewer, and we'll reveal our brand new set. We're going to see how it looks right after this break.